right, let's go to the NFL. In just 2 NFL preseason games, Fernando Mendoza has already thrown more than twice as many passes from under center than he did in 37 games in college. Mendoza completed 4 of 7 attempts from under center on Thursday, but one of those incompletions was a pick 6. All right, so here's the rundown of what we've seen from Mendoza. Again, small sample size. 8 of 15 for 86 yards was the stat line last night. We've seen him under center. It's not something we saw a lot of in college. So we've got an opportunity here to pick the big, beautiful brain of Jordan Rodgers, who's going to take us through what he's seen from Mendoza so far.
Yeah, you mentioned the under center. I think he's actually been impressive with how well he's played on time and in rhythm under center, something he never did. There's good examples and bad examples from last night. Let's look at one of the good examples first. They're going to motion over. This is actually Mendoza's first completion of the night, and I want to walk you through what the concept is. It's curl flat, super easy. You ran this in high school. You got a flat route here, and you have a curl route by the outside defender. Now, here's the issue and why this throw ends up being so impressive. You don't want to run this against cover 2. Here's why. You got a safety over the top, and you have literally a curl defender right here, and you have a flat defender right here. So you have 2 routes, and you have 2 defenders that their sole responsibility is exactly the route they're running. Now, this is why it's impressive, though. He's still going to work this curl side, and he's going to be reading this curl defender right here. Watch the timing. Now, this one's out of the gun. 1 hitch, and now I want to see you. He's already starting his throwing motion, and look at this defender sitting right where this route is supposed to run. This route is supposed to cut back right here. It's a curl, and that defender is right there. So here's what I love. This is where he's learning what open looks like at times. You got to throw this guy into this vacancy right here, and look where that ball ends up. So despite this defender sitting right where this receiver is coming, he's going to throw this ball right here. So he's going to pull this defender into that open window, into that window that is vacant because of where that curl defender was. That's great anticipation and great ball location on a route that wasn't ideal for the defense that we saw. Now, here's the interception, and there's a couple things on this play. First, I want to show you exactly what the concept is. You got a deep corner route here on the outside. It's a pylon route. You want to aim right at that pylon. And then you have a corner route on the inside. He's going to work in and then break out. And then you have a flat route right here. And you read this literally top down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What do you like? This is kind of your alert if you like the matchup. And then 2 to 3. It's a levels concept here. Really simple. Now, here's where Mendoza is still learning what open actually looks like. Because if you watch this leverage right here, I said this is kind of your alert. This guy's going to break out, right? What is this corner doing right now? And back up just a little bit because I want to show you. His shoulders are like this, right? He's facing this side of the field. Where's that route going? Over there. That's open in the NFL. If you can cross up a DB, you throw that with anticipation, your receiver's always going to have an advantage. So he decides not to throw this ball, even though I think he could have. I think he could have put that ball right to the pylon. This guy could have a step. If you don't throw that one, then right here, this is open in the NFL. You got your over route right here with a step. You throw this ball to the 5-yard line with some pace and some trajectory, and that's a big completion right there. So he doesn't throw that one either. Now, here's where he gets into trouble. You see this pressure right here? He feels this pressure, and that's why he's going to go to his check down. But I want you to pay attention where he is right now. Where was that ball snapped? The ball was snapped on the hash. So look at all this movement that Mendoza made without needing to. If he just steps up into this nice pocket, look at this nice pocket. If he just steps up right here, he can throw that check down easy. It's right in front of him. It's not throwing back over the middle. It's because he drifted way out of the pocket, drifted into some of the pressure, and now this throw becomes so much more difficult, and that's why it becomes an interception. He's late, and he's throwing back over the middle where he could have just stayed in that pocket. So we're seeing good, and we're seeing some moments of growth for a guy that's still learning how to play the position, but it's going to be really good. There are traits.
Absolutely excellent work right there. Do you like what you've seen so far?
I love what I've seen. The timing, the under center stuff, the accuracy. That pick 6, honestly, is one of the best things for him. He's going to get in the film room and start to understand, oh, I could have thrown that. That's right. He needs those moments more than anything.
We saw it in the Oregon game, and it went very well after that. All right, speaking of quarterbacks, let's get our own Dan Graziano in here, who wrote an article on ESPN.com answering some of the biggest quarterback questions of the future. So let's dive into these now, Graz. How will Lamar Jackson's performance this year affect his future in Baltimore?
It could be up to Lamar, it could be up to the team, but it remains in question as long as he doesn't have a contract extension. He's got 2 years left on his deal. They cannot franchise him. That's in the contract. So, and they went to him about an extension this offseason, and it didn't get done. So as long as there's no extension in place, we have license to wonder about his future in Baltimore because what if he doesn't want to have a future in Baltimore? He can play it out and go to free agency in 2028. So it's worth noting that in his first year in Greg Roman's system and in his first year in Todd Monken's system, he won the MVP award. So this new system thing could be a very good thing, and he could come out of this season feeling great and sign a billion-year contract to stay in Baltimore, 100% on the table. But it's a situation that's in question because if there's no extension before next spring and he's only got a year left on his contract and they still can't do one, you have to wonder whether there's an exit strategy.
Also worth noting in these situations, Lamar Jackson represents himself.
Yes.
He does not go the route of having an agent. Jordan Rodgers, how confident are you he and the Ravens, with a brand new coaching staff, can return to form this year?
I'm very confident. That's just because what Graz said about his first time in new systems, being a baller and getting MVPs. That's really hard to do. But we have recency bias over what we saw last year. He was a shadow of himself. He was not healthy. His threat as a runner was greatly diminished because of the lower body injuries that he dealt with all year. He only had 2 games after he came back from injury with 30 or more rushing yards. You know how many he had in that MVP season?
How many, Jordan?
All but 2 games he had more than 30 yards. So when he's a rushing threat, this offense is nearly unstoppable. I think Declan Doyle is going to add some of those wrinkles, the play actions, the under centers, but still use him in the gun as a runner, and we're going to see this offense take off.
Mike T, let's look at it from the other side. Lamar Jackson's only ever played under John Harbaugh. So this is the first time he's going to get himself a new head coach. What does it look like if things don't go well for he and the Ravens this year?
Oh, I still try to sign him to an extension. As Graz alluded to, this is a 2-time MVP in the prime of his career. And one of the things you talk about from a front office perspective is if he leaves the building, who are you getting?
Right.
Like, you're not going to get somebody more talented. I think it's very instructive when we saw them bring over Declan Doyle, because I think this offense is going to be more like Chicago, Detroit, 2 tight ends, heavy up the protection, keep Lamar healthy. When you do that, it makes them a lot more explosive. So I expect them to play well, but even if not, I think Baltimore is really smart. I think it's a long, long time coming before he leaves the Ravens.
They are the favorites to win the AFC. Despite everything we've talked
me.
about, a brand new head coach, a brand new OC who have never done the job before, they are your AFC favorites.
It surprises me because there's more mystery around this team than we're used to seeing. Everybody loves Jesse Minter. I think he's going to be a really good head coach. We don't know. We don't know if Declan Doyle is going to be a really good offensive coordinator. We don't ever know, honestly, if Lamar Jackson's going to get through the season healthy. That's been a thing for him, too. So there are a lot of question marks about that. I do think the defense is going to be better.
But, Graz, like context here, Buffalo has a new head coach. New England certainly has a lot of questions on the offensive line.
I get it.
Kansas City with Mahomes' availability and, his health is a big question. So to me, the AFC has a lot of questions.
I mean, they're the favorites to win the AFC North as well, and we've been talking about Cincinnati nonstop. Buffalo, Kansas City, other teams lurking.
I just I wouldn't have them as the favorite to win the AFC North. That's the thing. We were just talking about the Bengals with that offense, a healthy Joe Burrow, what they added on defense. I would have them as a favorite. And I've been a little sneaky on the Steelers, too. If Rodgers is healthy, this is a team that is going to surprise some people. It's not an easy division, let alone the AFC as well, with all those question marks.